territories and the country itself.
OK, can we move on to your own brief, that as Technology Secretary? We've been reporting here on the programme over the last few days the new measures that have come in under the Online Safety Act to protect children from online harm, particularly pornography, and having to prove their age before they get access to porn online. But we're hearing that there has been a huge surge in the number of people buying VPNs, which basically trick their computer or their phones so that it makes the internet think that they are in another country, and so they can still get access to those porn sites. It's quite obvious, isn't it, that people are doing that to get around the Online Safety Act. Do you accept that that's going on?
Well, I certainly accept that there has been a rise in use and download of VPNs, but they've not released the overall numbers. They've just said the percentage increase. What we do know for a fact is that Yoti, the leading age verification app, has now had 6.5 million downloads in Britain. It's been #1 in the app download charts for 2 days running and is still in the top 5 today. So we know that the vast majority of people who are turning to internet solutions in order to adhere to the age verification requirements that we now have when you're accessing certain materials and social media online, most Britons have been actually adapting to it in a really functional and appropriate way. So just to be really clear about this, this is the biggest step forward in child safety since the internet was created. There is, since Friday last week, children and parents will notice the difference in the experience that children have. Most children do not go looking for harmful and dangerous and pornographic content. Most children actually have found that the content has come to find them. That's why we've acted so decisively in this. And for everybody who's out there thinking of using VPNs, let me just say to you directly, verifying your age keeps a child safe, keeps children safe in our country. So let's just not try and find a way around. Just prove your age, make the internet safer for children, make it a better experience for everyone. That's surely what we should aspire to in this country. And I say to people like Nigel Farage, who want to turn the clock back and wants to just overturn these regulations, every time he does this and says it, he makes children more exposed, more susceptible to dangerous content. He makes them more vulnerable, just like they were in days gone by and years gone by. And we, as a government, simply will not allow that to happen.
OK, we will talk to Nigel Farage about his policies and question him about those. But if, as is right, one VPN supplier says that they've seen a surge of 1,400% increase in sales of VPN just in the last couple of days since the new law came in, it's clear that people are getting around it. And the UK tech entrepreneur Anthony Rose has said this is what happens when people who haven't got a clue about technology pass legislation. Anytime a government comes up with stupid legislation like this, he says, you just turn on your VPN and outwhip them. If people can bypass these new regulations that are supposed to make life safer for children, it doesn't count for anything, does it?
Well, the companies themselves have not released the numbers of the downloads. They've only given the percentage increase. So we have no idea what 1,000% means in practice. What we do know for fact is that 6.5 million people have downloaded the age verification system. Now, let me just be really clear about the argument here. I'm not saying, and I never have said, that every single child and every single piece of content that is harmful will not be downloaded and every single child will never be exposed to some of this content. What I have said is that we have taken the biggest step forward in preventing harmful, dangerous content finding its way into children's feeds since the internet was created. Now, maybe we've made a 50, 60, 70, maybe 80 or even 90% step forward in preventing that content getting into children's feeds. Now, for me, that's a pretty good damn day at work. And for people who point out that we haven't made it to 100% and therefore this is not ideal or it's not perfect or there's no workarounds, I just say to them, keeping that percentage, that big step forward, perhaps even 90% of content failing to get into the hands of children in an unwarranted way, in an unguarded way, in a way that children don't go looking for. If you think that that is not a step forward, then I urge you to go back and look at your relationship with technology itself. Where there are gaps, where there are workarounds, where children are still being failed, of course, I'm open-minded to looking at that, but let's look at the absolute evidence of what's happened in the last couple of days. And what we are seeing is children much safer this week than they were last week.
And to be clear, if that means restricting or banning VPNs so people can't get around the technology, would you consider that as a government?
No, I'm not considering banning VPNs. That's not on the cards. But I just want to urge caution in how people are using them, because each time you use a verification service, you are keeping children safe in our country. And surely that is worth the hassle.
Peter Carr, thank you for your time.
Thank you.